Okay, this will be the last part of this video series 2.7. And we have an argument here. If you clean your room, then you go to the movies. So that's going to be premises 1. Premises 2 is you went to the movies. And the conclusion is therefore you cleaned your room. So we have two things going on here. A P, which I'm going to let that equal you clean your room. And then Q is going to be you went to the movies. Okay, so let's translate these into sentences. I mean, the sentences into symbols, what I meant to say. If you clean your room, that's P. Then you go to the movies, that's Q. So that's the conditional. P2 says you went to the movies, that is Q. Therefore, or conclusion, you cleaned your room, that is P. So again, if I look at that table, I'm trying to match up the conditional with Q being P2, and then finally the conclusion is P. And if I look at that, I do have it. It's called the fallacy of the converse. Okay? So this makes the argument valid. Okay, all right. So let's move on. Given this set of premises, can you draw a valid conclusion? If it is made with cheese, then it is healthy. Quesadillas are made with cheese, therefore, now we got to find out what the conclusion is, okay? So I would suggest doing this. Write out what is P and what is Q. So P is it is made of cheese. And Q is going to be then it is healthy. So it is healthy. So let's write out P1 and P2. So P1 states if it's made with cheese, then it is healthy. So we have the conditional if P, then Q. P2 states quesadillas are made with cheese. So that's P, because P is it is made as cheese. Now we need a conclusion. So to figure out the conclusion, I'm going to look at that chart and find out or look for when P1 is the conditional if P, then Q, and P2 is P. And I see that with direct reasoning. With direct reasoning, the conclusion is Q. So Q is it is healthy. So I would write, therefore, quesadillas are healthy. So C would be the answer to this. So this is the answer or the conclusion based on direct reasoning. Okay, so draw a valid conclusion, write the premises symbolically and match them to one of the valid arguments. Use the conclusion from the argument to write a valid conclusion. Okay, so we just did this. So we're just going to keep on going. Draw a valid conclusion from the given premises. If fish climb trees, then dogs drive golf carts. If dogs drive golf carts, then apples are vegetables. So we have three things going on here, okay? So P is going to be fish climb trees. Q is going to be dogs drive golf carts. And then R is apples are a vegetable. Okay, so let's write out premises 1. If fish climb trees, that is P, then dogs drive golf carts, that is Q. P2. If dogs drive golf carts, that is Q, then apples are a vegetable, which is R. Now we have to find the conclusion. So if I look on this, I have two conditionals. Well, actually, the first one's conditional, and the second one is the converse, sort of. But anyways, don't think about it as the converse. I shouldn't even have said that. But we're looking for something to match up, and we see that that happens in transitive reasoning. With transitive reasoning, the conclusion is going to be if P then R. So I would write up if, and sorry, let's kick back because we need therefore, okay, because it's a conclusion. So therefore, comma, if fish climb trees, remember that is P, then, now we need R, apples are vegetables. Okay, so this is going to be my answer here. All right, here's another one. Draw a valid conclusion. I study for my driver's test, or I do not pass the test. I did not study for my driver's test. Okay, so P1, we got to label what is P and what is Q. I study for my driver's test is going to be P. And Q, I'm going to let that equal I do not pass the test. Okay, so let's write things out symbolically. So P1, premises 1. I study for my driver's test, which is P, or I do not pass the test, which is Q. So I have the disjunctive. P2, I did not study for my driver's test. So that is going to be negation P. Now, if we look at the disjunctive syllogism, I will see that P1 is P or Q. P2 is negation P. The conclusion of that is Q. So I need to write up therefore, comma, I do not pass the test. And again, I use the disjunctive syllogism. Okay, so the answer is right here. One more. If a function is even, then the graph is symmetrical about the y-axis. The graph of the function f of x is not symmetrical about the y-axis. Okay, and we have to find the conclusion. So P is going to equal the function is even. And Q is going to be it is symmetrical about the y-axis. Okay, so P1 is my first sentence. So premises 1, if a function is even, that's P, then its graph is symmetrical about the y-axis, that's Q. So we have the conditional. For P2, it says the graph of the function f of x is not symmetrical about the y-axis, so that's negation Q. Now I got to match that up with one of the common arguments. So I'm looking for P1 being if P then Q and then negation Q. I see that answer with the contrapositive reasoning. The answer is going to be negation P. So I'm going to write up, therefore, the function is not even. And again, I did that by using the contrapositive. Reasoning. Okay? All right, you made it through 2.7. Yay! So next thing you want to do is go ahead and work on the homework. All right, thanks for watching the entire videos.